Continuing to design custom card support for the United Sanctuary has been a blast, and to keep this train going, I will now be introducing you my Angel Feather custom card support. Angel Feather is a clan that is no slouch to amazing support. As we've seen throughout the V Premium series, Gavriel has been amazing, Malkuth Melik is still doing some damage, and even their Archetype series, the Celestials, has gotten amazing support in the later series. However, Angel Feather has gotten one deck that got support, and while it was good, it didn't have the right Vanguard to make it work. That deck is Cosmo Healer Ergodiel, and I have created just the right custom card support for this deck to bring some life back into it. I have designed custom card support that could potentially bring life back into the Ergodiel deck. I think it's a unique take on what her strategy wanted to do, and it still keeps her main strategy alive, but just making it a lot more consistent. There's also a great thing to note about Ergodiel was the fact that this deck has been showcased twice in the anime, in the Limit Break season with Korin Tatsunagi, and then in the V-Series season with Tatsuya. This deck has a lot of amazing past support that will be making its very first V Premium debut in this video. Now without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right on into this. Making her V Premium debut, we have Heavenly Injector, who has the following effect. Auto Vanguard Circle. When placed, look at 7 cards from the top of your deck. Reveal up to 1 Cosmo Healer Ergodiel or Fate Healer Ergodiel from among them and put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. When put from damage zone to drop zone by a card's ability. Auto, cost, put this card into your soul. Both players countercharge 1 and choose one of your units, and it gets power plus 5,000 until the end of turn. Fun fact about Ergodiel was the fact that this card originally started off with a ride chain with the support you'll see today, consisting of Heavenly Injector, Fate Healer Ergodiel, and then the grade 3 Cosmo Healer Ergodiel. It's very weird to me that the ride chain was not included in the introduction of Ergodiel, as it could have had the chance to at least give the deck a consistency boost, as we've seen with other ride chains that have been introduced into Vanguard. However, I am going to correct that mistake with this support. Now, Heavenly Injector's first effect is obviously a consistency boost because I am trying to incorporate the ride chain element of this deck to correct the flaws of our previous card designers. So the first effect takes care of that, and it follows a similar ability of all the other ride chain cards as well. So the skill is just amazing as a consistency buff. Now the second ability actually relates to our Cosmo Healer Ergodiel's effect, as Ergodiel takes any cards that are on the rearguard circles on either player's field, putting them into the damage zone and then healing that damage out and then gaining power based on the face-up cards in the damage zone. So having this card be taken out from the damage zone because you heal it out via effect, placing it into the soul, countercharging 1 for both players, and giving one of your cards 5,000 power, huge power upgrade to Cosmo Healer Ergodiel. You're forcing your opponent to countercharge, which means that even if they choose to stack their damage zone and heal out all the cards they put in there, they still have to do a countercharge of 1, and while it does give them a resource, it means that your Ergodiel's first effect and your other rear guards gain power based off your opponent's face-up damage will always be active, as this card automatically demands both players countercharge 1. So they won't be able to hide from your skills by doing any weird card shenanigans to not make them countercharge. Going into our grade 2 for Ergodiel, we have Fate Healer Ergodiel with the following effect. Continuous Vanguard / Rearguard Circle. If you have Heavenly Injector in your soul, this unit gets power plus 1,000. Auto, when put from damage zone to drop zone by your card's ability, cost. Put this card into your soul, draw a card. Auto, when rode upon by Cosmo Healer Ergodiel, you and your opponent both choose a card from your hands and call them to rearguard circles. Your opponent's card's auto abilities do not activate from this call. Now, Fate Healer Ergodiel has the typical ride chain power upgrade to make her a 10k base. Being a protect clan, you obviously want to have enough power to stay away from the Excel rush and keep up with the force decks. So I figured the first skill was just basically normal. It's the second and third skill where this card gets interesting and a lot helpful to what Ergodiel does. Now, as I stated with Heavenly Injector and Cosmo Healer Ergodiel's effect overall, you're going to be putting cards from your field into the damage zone and healing out vis-a-vis your effect when you ride over her. So having cards that benefit from this is going to be extremely helpful to maintaining your resources and improving your strategy. Ergodiel's second ability to move herself into the soul and draw you a card means that this card potentially can be a +1 or just a neutral gain, as if you have this card on the rearguard circle and you into the damage zone, you essentially made up for the card that you lost. But if she was already in the damage zone and you heal her out vis-a-vis an effect and put her into the drop zone, you get a +1 because you get to draw 1 card from losing her. Making Ergodiel's third skill was tricky because what Fate Healer does and what Cosmo Healer Ergodiel did back in the day was kind of weird and interesting. I definitely feel like Cosmo Healer Ergodiel will need targets for your skill, so instead of being punished by playing against any form of control deck that can get rid of your rear guards early and then your Vanguard not doing anything on the first turn with Ergodiel, this demands both players at least have a target for your grade 3 Cosmo Healer Ergodiel to pick so that she can get that 5,000 power and extra critical. Now, Cosmo Healer Ergodiel is a very powerful one-turn Vanguard, but again, her strength is her weakness. She's only good on the turn that you ride into her. So I think that to improve Ergodiel, we're going to have to make an evolution form that she needs to give this deck some life to make its strategy work again. And since all of our new cards are Ergodiel based, I think that an evolution to Cosmo Healer Ergodiel is going to be very welcomed into this series. So I introduced you my final support for Cosmo Healer Ergodiel, Heavenly Cosmic Healer Ergodiel Maxima with the following effect. Auto Vanguard Circle once per turn. If you have Cosmo Healer Ergodiel in your soul, cost Soul Blast 1. Choose a card from your damage zone and heal it. Auto Vanguard Circle. When it attacks a Vanguard, cost Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1. Choose any number of units on any player's rearguard circles and put them into the damage zone. If 2 or more cards were put, this unit gets power plus 10,000 and critical plus 1. You and your opponent heal cards from their damage zone equal to the number of cards put into their damage zone with this effect. Cosmo Healer Ergodiel Maxima sticks to what the original Ergodiel did back in the Limit Break days. You got to Counterblast 2, discard a copy of Ergodiel from your hand and heal a point of damage. This introduces that via the first effect by giving you that Soul Blast of 1 to heal a card from your damage zone by having another Ergodiel into your soul. Now, if you figure out a way to put Ergodiel into your soul sooner, more power to you, it just makes the deck a lot more consistent. But the idea behind this card is that you do ride into it over the new Ergodiel, you start soul blasting out all the other cards that you've gained via your Fate Healer and your Heavenly Injector. That's why there's so much soul charging with this. And then you heal cards up from your damage zone. This overall just enforces the protect strategy to play a longer game to where your cards gain more power. Her second effect, which is the on attack ability, is just a huge upgrade to her first skill. Now, her first skill was on place, but we changed it to on attack to make it as consistently viable every single turn as we want to. The beauty about this first effect is that it copies Anj and what the original Ergodiel did and brings them together. These effects allow you to take any cards that are on the rearguard circles, so any sort of protection effect will go away, which means that lock, cradle, all those are going to go away for your cards. And you can move those cards into the damage zone, and then you can put those cards out into your drop zone, gain the effects from those, and then Ergodiel will gain 10,000 power plus 1 critical. Now she's maintaining the exact same thing she did as Cosmo Healer Ergodiel, but it's a huge upgrade to her strategy overall. The deck now has tempo, consistency, power. It has everything it needs to finally be a playable deck in today's current metagame, while not being overpowered. And yes, Ergodiel Maxima does use the original art of Ergodiel. I didn't want to make like some custom art for the card. I feel like that would just ruin the overall like design of what I'm trying to do with the custom card series, which is taking old cards and bringing them to life in the V Premium series. So I took the original art, and it definitely does get the job done. It looks really good and looks very dynamic and different from the old Ergodiel, but it looks just as fine as well in my opinion. However, I'm curious, I want to know what you guys think. Tell me your thoughts about the custom card series so far and how you think about my Angel Feather support. Now, I've designed all the support a while ago. I believe a lot of these cards got finished about 2 months ago from now, and we are currently in March. And I haven't done any changes to them so far because I want to get this series done, and just life has been kicking me in the butt. But we're going to keep producing new videos for the custom card series every single day as I'm trying to push this content out. So with that being said, stay tuned for tomorrow's next episode, and I'll catch you later. Peace.